This video is about adding and subtracting radicals. So one thing to remember when we add and subtract radicals, it's identical to combining like terms. It has to have the exact same radical, so that means the number underneath the radical has to be the exact same in order for us to add them. So since we have them here, this is like 1 square root of 3 plus 5 square roots of 3 minus 2 square roots of 3. So we're really just adding the coefficients, 1 plus 5 minus 2. So 1 plus 5 is 6, minus 2 is 4, so I have 4 square root 3. So when we add like terms, the term doesn't change. So I keep the square root of 3 as is. We're just counting how many there are. So we added the 1, 5, and subtracted 2. So in the next example, if we have negative 10 square root 7 plus 12 square root 7, I have the exact same radical. The number inside is the same, so I can add them. So I have negative 10 plus 12, just adding the coefficients, which equals 2. So I have 2 square root 7. So same thing with our next example, 3 square root 6 minus 4 square root 6. The radicals are identical, so I can add the coefficients. So 3 minus 4 is negative 1, so I have negative square root 6. Remember, we don't have to write the 1 here. It's imaginary, so it's just an extra step. So we can just write negative square root 6. Now, if our radicals are not identical, so here I have the square root of 12 and the square root of 3. So they are not the same, so I'm going to have to simplify this guy. So over here, I'm going to do the square root of 12. So remember, we list out the factors. So 12 is 2 times 6 and 4 times 3. Well, 2 and 6 aren't perfect squares, but 4 is, so I'm going to choose this pair. So the square root of 12 is the square root of 4 times 3. I break these apart. Square root of 4 times square root of 3. The square root of 4 is 2, so I have 2 square root of 3. So since the square root of 12 is equivalent to 2 square roots of 3, I'm going to replace my square root of 12 with 2 square roots of 3. But since I have this negative on the outside, I have to keep it, so I'm going to write it out in front. Plus 3 square roots of 3. So now I have the same radical, so I just add negative 2 plus 3 is negative 1. So, excuse me, that's positive 1. Okay, so negative 2 plus 3 is 1, so I just have 1 square root 3. Okay? So one more before we're done. So 2 square root 6 minus 2 square root 24. So again, square root of 6 and the square root of 24 are not the same radical, so I'm going to simplify the square root of 24. So square root of 24, I know 4 times 6 is equal to 24, and 4 is a perfect square. So I break them apart. Square root of 4 times square root of 6. Square root of 4 is 2, and I can't simplify the square root of 6, so I have 2 square roots of 6. So I'm going to rewrite this out as 2 square root 6 minus 2. Now since these are side by side, that operation is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply this negative 2. Well, this now simplified to 2 square roots of 6, so I'm going to replace that right here. But I have to multiply these guys in negative 2 times 2. So I'm going to have 2 square root 6, and then negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. So I have negative 4 square root 6. Now my radicals are the same, so I just add the coefficients. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So I have negative 2 square root